Hello, everyone. Welcome to the EOS Hot Sauce, episode number 147. I hope that you're enjoying your day. I hope that everyone is doing well out there. I'm your host, Dan Sengjoy, and we have very many exciting topics to share with you today about growing and leading EOS. So let's get right into it. The first topic that we'll discuss today is the EOS EVM launch event and AMA, super exciting. And then we'll talk about the ENF Quarterly Report, also awesome. Pomelo trust bonuses. I could say they're all awesome, but I'll cut to the chase. A bunch of awesome updates, including Pomelo trust bonuses, updates from Dan Larimer, ƒractally on EOS Brainstorming Sessions, weekly Mandel upgrade meeting, and the next era of Eden beginning with the second official Eden election. So really big news that I'm super thrilled about coming up this week is the EOS EVM launch event and AMA Ask Me Anything. The EOS EVM is now live on the Jungle testnet, and the ENF is hosting a launch event and AMA this week on Twitter Spaces. You can read all about the EOS EVM and upcoming AMA in this excellent blog post. This is super exciting news because the EOS EVM will help greatly to attract new developers and dApps and everyone to EOS. There's a huge thriving ecosystem of tools on Ethereum, and this will enable all those tools and smart contracts and apps to work directly with EOS. The EOS EVM has full RPC compatibility, which means that any application on Ethereum can build on EOS super easily. And of course, the EOS EVM also provides way faster and cheaper transactions, about 100 times faster transactions and about 1,000 times cheaper transaction costs than many EVMs. So this is a huge attractor for many great development teams. You can also learn much more about the benefits of the EOS EVM in this excellent tweet from the ENF, where Zach Gall and Eva LaRose talk about all sorts of really exciting things going on with the EOS EVM. And there's also another blog post from January when the EVM Plus team started to work together that provides a great overview of all of the great progress with the EVM Plus and so forth. So to celebrate this monumental milestone of the EOS EVM being live on the Jungle testnet and coming to the EOS network soon, and to help everyone learn about the most performant EOS EVM in the market, the EOS EVM will be hosting an EOS EVM, or no, the ENF will be hosting an EOS EVM launch event and AMA on Twitter Spaces on April 19th, coming up in a few days on 13 UTC. The event will feature keynotes from the ENF and core EVM Plus contributors. So Eva LaRose will be speaking there, as well as Matthias Romeo, who's the EVM Plus technical lead from EOS Argentina, and Dr. who has been leading the EVM Plus product and business development. And there are many exciting product details, like a full suite of products and details to come soon that I'm excited to learn more about in this event. Twitter Spaces, I'm also really happy to see these Twitter Spaces. I know the ENF and the EOS community has been starting to do them more lately. They're an excellent way to reach out to a larger audience. And Eve has also been doing some Twitter Spaces over the past couple of weeks to spread the word about EVM on EOS with the Chinese community. So he did this one over here, and then there's also been, I think he did 3 or 4 more, and I think there's been about 150 or maybe 200 people at each event so far. So it's really cool to see the word spreading, Eve getting out there and spreading the word about the EOS EVM with the Chinese community and letting people know how incredibly helpful the EOS EVM will be for everybody. There was also another Twitter Spaces recently with Dafeng Guo, who is a founder of EOS Asia and an advisor for the ENF. And he also spoke with the Chinese community. So super, super helpful to see this. Super great to see Dafeng speaking here. And I'm very excited for this one. As I don't speak Chinese, I'll be very thrilled to hear about it in English. And this is also a very helpful event for several reasons. So, I mean, one, there's not all that much information that has been released about like the actual product yet. So there's been teasers and there's been the blog post, which I shared, which share a great amount of information, but there's still so much to learn about the EOS EVM. So during this event, we'll learn about many details and the technological advantages of the EOS EVM compared to other EVMs and plans for attracting DeFi and GameFi, which is great. GameFi, people can play games and earn on the EOS EVM, and the EOS ecosystem, the EVM development timeline for the whole EVM ecosystem and all the different products and how the network will work and the technical features and performance stats and so much more. And there'll also be much more details announced about the incentive structure to help attract developers. There'll also be a AMA that'll allow anybody in the EOS community and anybody in the wider blockchain community or anybody in general to ask questions about EOS EVM and learn more about why and how the EOS EVM will be the most performant EVM on the market and all the exciting plans for the rest of 2022 and beyond. So everybody, I hope that you'll join us on April 19th at 13 UTC for the EOS EVM launch event in AMA. I'm very much looking forward to this event and all of the amazing apps that come with all the amazing apps and teams and developers and so many cool things that come with EOS EVM. So yeah, I am very excited and I hope to see you there. I will also check out the chat. Hey, hey, Yevon, hey, Yana. What's up, Andres and Ian and Pablo? Go EOS. It's great to see everybody here. Thanks for hanging out. I hope to see you all at the EOS EVM AMA event and launch event. And yeah, thanks for being here and hope everybody's having a great day. I love to see all the enthusiasm and go EOS. And speaking of EOS going, we have the EOS ENF, the EOS Network Foundation quarterly report. So each quarter, the ENF provides an overview of its activities and grants and financial expenditures in a detailed report, quite a detailed report. You could see a brief introduction at the top of the Medium post that's linked in this tweet. And there's also an excellent 15-page report here. So this Medium post provides a brief summary talking about how the ENF grew rapidly in the first quarter of 2022. The ENF more than doubled its core team size and secured senior development talent, great engineers to build an ENF internal engineering team, and also did a huge amount of work for the betterment of the EOS ecosystem as a whole. So I really enjoyed reading through this article and studying it quite closely. There was a lot of things that I didn't know about and that I learned as I was going. There's also some great designs here as well. So to provide some highlights, there's some of the mission of the EOS Network Foundation, which I love to see the mission and everything that the ENF is doing in accordance with this mission. And then we also have some progress about the social media presence and the growth of the EOS Network Foundation. Basically, the ENF has been releasing a steady stream of content on social media, and the audience is rapidly growing, which is great to see. People are learning about all the great developments in EOS through the ENF. We also have, of course, the 4 blue papers were published, which are the Audit Plus, Core Plus, API Plus, and Wallet Plus blue papers. These blue papers had over 75 proposals that were published to consolidate the knowledge and collaborate and research and innovate to make the future of EOS really awesome. We've spoken about these many times. I highly recommend checking out those papers if you haven't already and listening to our previous talks about them. We'll just give a quick overview of these and yeah, check out the full paper to learn all about it because there's so much exciting details here. The next topic that was discussed in the ENF quarterly report related to the previous topic about the EVM Plus working group and how it expanded to include the EOS EVM product team. So in addition to the EOS EVM Plus working group that is building and has in many cases already built the EVM Plus software, the EOS EVM, the ENF also is working with a product team specifically to develop the business case for the EOS EVM, to really set the EOS EVM apart from other EVMs in other ways other than just the technical proficiencies. So there's going to be lots of exciting things coming out with the economics of exactly how to incentivize developers and marketing and onboarding strategies and working with a full suite of products. So that's really cool as well too. And of course, we'll get more details about that in the upcoming Twitter spaces that are going to be really cool. And then we also have the Yield group, the Yield Plus working group, which was established, which is also kind of related to the EOS EVM as well. So this was established to create a blue paper. Well, they will be creating a blue paper with research and proposals to attract, incentivize, and grow DeFi protocols and liquidity for both the native EOS and the EOS EVM. So bringing all sorts of great yield earning opportunities and lots of great team members here. It's going to be great to see the TVL, total value locked, and lots of people investing with EOS with the research from the Yield Plus working group. There's also the Recover Plus working group, which has been led by a team at Pizza. And they're basically creating a light blue paper where they're creating a crisis management framework for EOS. So whenever there are hacks or exploits that happen, then we'll have emergency smart contracts and protocols and advice and guides and frequently answered questions and best practices and everything that could be helpful to deal with those hacks and exploits. So the ENF invested in this, which is very helpful to see. It is good to have backup plans in case things go wrong. And then the ENF group, then the ENF also worked with the EOSIO Plus working group. And last week I talked about how there was a recent announcement of a coalition of EOSIO blockchains, 4 different EOSIO blockchains who are assembled to take over the development of the EOSIO protocol core code and are using a combined $8 million annual budget to lead this. And there's also going to be some exciting new rebranding, many details here that it's really cool to see all of these things coming together with the ENF. This is only halfway through, and there's so many more great details in this quarterly report. To provide a brief overview of some other ones, we've talked a lot about Pomelo, and I think that we all very much love Pomelo here because Pomelo is amazing. So the ENF funded the matching pool and also direct funding contributions over $1 million total with Pomelo, and the ENF is also funding the ongoing development of Pomelo to help foster public goods on EOS, which is amazing to see. I'm super thrilled to see the future of Pomelo as we go into future seasons. Well, season 2 has been amazing already, and we'll talk about that a bit more. But then also thinking about the long-term future of Pomelo, season 3 and so forth. It's awesome, and I'm so happy that the ENF is funding this and helping to make this happen for everybody in the world and in EOS. The ENF also became a didn't become a partnership, but it began a partnership. It signed an agreement for a partnership with OCI, in addition to doing some blue paper community feedback initiative or offering that, which had some great feedback for the blue papers. Yeah, so in addition to that, the ENF began a partnership with OCI, Object Computing Incorporated, to develop and implement the transaction lifecycle proposal outlined in the API Plus blue paper. We spoke about that in the hot sauce a couple weeks ago, and it's very exciting. Check it out if you haven't already. Basically, it's going to make transactions on EOS work much more reliably and smoother and provide a much better experience for everybody involved. It's really great to see, and OCI is stacked with talent. They have a bunch of really great EOSI engineers, and they've worked with so many great companies. So that's really cool to see that the ENF is making contracts with OCI, and ENF is also making contracts with Fractally too. So, well, this happened, I think, a few months ago now that the contract was signed, but basically the ENF contracted Daniel Larimer, the creator of EOS, and his engineering team at Fractally to deliver several new features to the EOS code base as part of the Mandel release, which will be kind of establishing the independence of the EOS core software from the previous developers. So that's really great to see. And also another thing that I learned from reading this, so there were quite a few new things I wasn't aware of in this paper, in this report. So one of them is that the ENF is now working with Bywire News, which is one of the leading media and news organizations in EOS and is doing incredible work. So the ENF is now working with Bywire to devise a Market Plus, which is a strategic research-led communication plan to better understand the market and improve sentiment around EOS and create great stories and narratives to help grow EOS. The founder and CEO of Bywire News, Michael O'Sullivan, recently became an Eden Chief Delegate, which is really exciting. And he spoke about that too. So we'll talk about that more soon. And it's very exciting to see the ENF working closely with Bywire. I was thrilled to see that. And also, another thing I didn't know about either, WordProof. I've been following them for a few years because they're doing super, super helpful work. The ENF is now supporting WordProof, or I don't know if it's now, or the ENF will support WordProof as a matching partner for the EIC Accelerator Program, which is the European Innovation Council. So WordProof previously got a grant of €1 million from the European Innovation Council, which is established by the EU to empower internet users and content creators with tools to make it easy to timestamp website data to EOS. So this is incredibly helpful as a content creator and an internet user myself, and I'm sure many people here too, having these tools to make sure that we can assure who is posting data is incredibly helpful and increasingly important in the world. So that's excellent and amazing to see that the ENF is working closely and helping to fund WordProof for that. And then also, I think finally, the last part of this report is that the ENF is in a working contract with EOS Support to help foster all the great services that EOS Support is doing to provide technical support for EOS users and customers and developers. EOS Support also is now working with the Mandel consensus upgrade and helping with Eden greatly. So that's amazing to see that the ENF is helping to fund and facilitate the growth of EOS Support. And then finally, on this same document in this report, you can see a detailed overview and breakdown of the financials. So in total, over Q1, the ENF invested about $5 million in the ecosystem in this quarter, and it's split up amongst grants and core development and code and marketing and design, as you can see here. So it's really great to see all this transparency and all of the amazing things that the ENF is doing. There's also a roadmap of what's ahead with Pomelo bounties and the grant framework, which actually was just released, and the EVM testnet deployment, which we talked about. So there's all sorts of things coming. That's Q2, Q3, we have the Mandel upgrade and EVM Plus full launch and product suite, and Bridge Plus and Market Plus, Pomelo Season 3, ENF Ventures. So there's a lot of exciting news. And yeah, once again, it's really great to see all these amazing developments from the ENF. And I love the transparency in this report and explanation about all of these wonderful projects and communities and teams that the ENF is funding. So it's really great. I'm thankful for that. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing the future work of the ENF. And I hope that everybody's excited. I'm excited. I bet everybody's excited. I feel like everybody's probably really excited after seeing that. So yeah, super cool. I see chat too. People are talking, let's go Felix. So exciting with the EVM. I completely agree, Evan. Hello, Moro. Great show. Thank you, Pablo. I appreciate it very much. I do. I don't know if you can see my my arm. I put my arm up to do that, to mimic what you're doing, but my screen is a little bit small, so I wasn't able to fit it all, but I'll work on that in the future. And Oscar, I'm glad that you enjoyed the report. I appreciate the roadmap too. It is getting hot in here, Moro. Go EOS Veronica, EOSIO plus for the win. Go EOSIO. Absolutely, everybody. I love to see all the enthusiasm. There's going to be Pablo was saying there's going to be 4 Eden elections and Pomelo rounds every year from now on, which is amazing to see. What's up, Hockey Sniper? It's so great to see everybody here. And yeah, fire, 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 fire. And let's move on with the next fiery and hot, spicy update from Pomelo. Let's do it. I'm going to get some water because it's been so spicy. So Pomelo Season 2, it's been going really great, and the community is very excited and funding many public goods. So there's been there's been 140 public good grants that were approved this season, which is about twice as much as last season. And I love learning about all these amazing projects. It's been super fun and inspiring. So many projects I didn't previously know about. Everybody can now log into pomelo.io to support the exciting projects that you love and amplify your donations with the power of quadratic funding. Public good creators have raised well over 12,000 EOS now from well over 700 unique donors. And yeah, it's really, really exciting to see all this great success with Pomelo Season 2 and quadratic funding. The total matching funds, we can see here, $912,088 is the matching pool. And then the ENF also contributed an additional $125K. So there's over $1 million in total contribution funds, which is great. And of course, this is an excellent opportunity to support excellent products that you love and help reward people who are creating public goods for the EOSIO community and the world too. When you're supporting public goods on Pomelo, you can amplify your donations even more by verifying your identity with various profiles to earn trust bonuses. So there was a really great Everything EOS podcast with Daniel Keys about this a few weeks ago. He spoke about how you can verify your identity with port.link, GitHub, Google, Apple, Discord, and Weibo to earn trust bonuses. So for example, and they each offer a different amount of trust bonuses, and you can combine them by verifying with different accounts, by multiple accounts. So for example, if you verified your Pomelo account with several different accounts and you got a 30% trust bonus from that, then when you had a $100 EOS donation, just for example, it could be much more or less, however much, then it would be 30% more. So for 100 EOS, that would count as 130 EOS in the matching pool equation. So that's really helpful. During the last week in the fireside chat, we heard the Pomelo team and Daniel Keys speak with Luca from the Port team. So Port is a very helpful technology that enables everybody to authenticate EOS accounts with the NFC chip in your passport without revealing your identity and using KYC, so it keeps it much more private. It doesn't work for everybody right now. They're working on making it for everybody, but there are a couple countries where they're still working on making it work. But it works for most countries right now. And yeah, that's super, super helpful what Port's doing and what Pomelo is doing with these trust bonuses. The best way to ensure that funding goes to public good creators with Pomelo is to have many verified people funding public goods with trust bonuses. So everybody who's donating and supporting public goods, check out that after you log in. You can do it pretty easily by going into here and going to sign in, and then going through the steps to get your trust bonuses. So do that and help support public good creators on Pomelo. Public good creators or public good owners, grant owners, can also promote their project, and community members can learn about public goods in weekly fireside chat on the EOS community Discord fireside chats, and Pomelo pitch deck episodes with January EOS, and Tesla meetings on WeChat. So this week we heard from Trimbot during the EOS community fireside chat, and we also heard from Bishop from EOS Support, who both have some great Pomelo pitches. Trimbot's doing really excellent work that you might have noticed to raise awareness for EOS, and he also recently spoke on Helios podcast with Chris Barnes to talk about it more. And Bishop is an amazing artist and also a communications leader at EOS Support, and they've been making just incredibly helpful work, as I was saying before, leading the EOS community with technical support. And they've also been helping very much with the Eden election and making really cool art, as I was saying before too. So I love to see it. And I was very, very thrilled to hear them speak in the EOS Fireside chat, and everybody should come check it out because it's a really fun time. This season, or now, the Diamond Pomelo NFTs are also now live. So you can check out blend.gems.io and blend your Pomelo NFTs, and your Pomelo NFT collection now shows up on your public profile on Pomelo.io, which is very cool. If you haven't, or if you want to purchase more, you can purchase Pomelo Season 2 NFTs on Atomic Hub and shop.pomelo.io. And all funds raised will be added to the matching pool to help fund public goods on EOS. You can learn much more about this from this great infographic, and also from the article from EOS Nation, and from this great interview on the EOS Writer podcast. Pomelo grant donations will be open on April 23rd. So to support projects, submit grants, or actually no, not to submit grants, because that's over now, but you can submit grants during season 3, which is coming up soon. And in the meantime, to support projects and learn more about the Pomelo crowdfunding platform, please visit pomelo.io. You can also learn more questions, or you can also ask more questions and learn more about Pomelo in the fireside chat every Wednesday, as I was saying before. And yeah, it's really awesome to see all the great public goods with Pomelo. And I encourage everybody to verify their profiles to help allocate more public goods funding to the great public goods helping EOS and EOS.io in the world. So as a way to also help grow EOS now, Trimbot does do a great job, Pablo, I agree. And well, yeah, so everyone's smashing the like button now. Moro saying it right. Thank you, Moro. Very spicy, very spicy. Yo, Zaya Nerman, it's good to see you. Go Pomelo. Go Pomelo fams. I agree. It's awesome, Veronica. Yeah, so as Moro was saying, and as I was saying, help grow EOS. In addition to funding public goods, another great way to help grow EOS and to help support Pomelo and public goods and the EOS EVM and all the great work from ENF like this video, subscribe to see more great videos from ENF or from EOS Nation rather, and share with friends. All of these will very much help to grow the EOS ecosystem and help spread the word about Pomelo and the EOS EVM and all the great work happening in EOS, and also just create more value for everybody in the EOS community and everyone in the world as a whole. So like, subscribe, and share. And thanks everybody so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I love to see all the amazing people in the chat and in the EOS community. So much exciting things happening. We're also doing a Party Cracker giveaway today with many great EOS NFTs. So if you'd like to have a chance at winning some great EOS NFTs with Party Crackers, then go check out the EOS Nation Twitter channel, and check out the most recent tweet. Here it is. And it looks like Yevon's already gotten down to it. Yevon knows the drill. Type in your EOS account name and hit reply, and then you'll be entered for a chance to win a Party Cracker with great NFTs. Thanks everybody again for being here, and let's move on to the next spiciness. Spiciness. So, in very spicy news, Dan Larimer, so he left Block One a while ago, and he's been building Fractally, which is an amazing app that I'm incredibly excited about on EOS, and I've spoken much about, and we'll speak a bit more about it in this call. And we hadn't really heard about Dan Larimer so much. He's been attending the weekly meetings for Fractally every Saturday, so that's a great opportunity to hear from Dan Larimer. But other than that, he hasn't shared many messages. So this week he shared some messages in the EOS Telegram chat to provide some updates. He said that the reason why he hasn't been around much is because he's been coding with 80% of his time lately. And he's been building IBC tooling to help enable fractal communities on EOS to form mutual respect with fractal communities on many other blockchains. He also wrote in the Telegram chat that it's really nice to see all the great progress with EOS, and that he's working with over 10 developers working full time to help him build the next generation of DAOs with Fractally. Yeah, so I really love to see it. It's very interesting with the IBC. It seems like this will basically, it stands for inter-blockchain communication. It'll enable EOS to speak with and communicate with and work seamlessly with all kinds of other blockchains, and also maybe EOS subchains and all different kinds of blockchains with EOS. So that's really exciting, and it's great to hear from Dan Larimer and the Fractally team. I'm very excited about the progress, and I'm very excited to see what they share. And on the topic, thrilling times, I agree, Oscar. Thrilling times with Fractally coming up soon. So Fractally is the app that Dan Larimer's team is building with amazing fractal art that is beautiful and wonderful and awe-inspiring and riveting. And I can add another 10 adjectives there because I really love all the beautifulness, but we'll stop it there and move on to the substance, on the substantive information. So speaking of Fractally, while the Fractally is working on building and coding, the EOS community, many EOS community members are meeting every week to discuss proposals to implement Fractally on EOS and further empower EOS with fractal governance. I've been participating in this group every week since these events started last month, and I am very, very excited about all the fascinating conversations and proposals that we've been sharing. The aim of this group is to create a detailed proposal that specifies both how to gradually implement Fractally on EOS and also satisfies all EOS community members in all cultures. When Fractally was first announced, there was a lot of details left out, and so this is aiming to specify all the details and find something that works for everybody to empower EOS with Fractally. There's an event coming up on Monday, April 18th. These happen every Monday at different times. Basically, there's a really cool structure. So this event was set up by Patrick from Nova Crypto and Jesse from the EOSBs, and the goal is basically to create that proposal for Fractally on EOS, and the EOSBs are offering a reward of 100 EOS per week to community members who propose ideas that are voted onto a mind map by meeting participants. Mind map is this great software that Patrick from Nova Crypto is building. You can see it right here, where it lets you visually see and organize all these different ideas. It's also a little bit larger version here. So that's great. And yeah, so people can earn up to 100 EOS per week by going to this mind map and submitting a proposal. And then the participants in the discussion talk about the different ideas. And then if they're voted onto the mind map, then you can earn the 100 EOS. So you can you can earn and help empower EOS Fractally, which is very exciting. This week, we discussed a detailed proposal from Jesse that he's worked on for a while and working on with many community leaders to fund 3 prime fractals, English, Chinese, and Korean, according to the quantity of mutual respect between each fractal. It's a very, very interesting proposal that I'm very excited to learn more about. There's been a lot of great comments here as well. And there's also a great proposal from Tadas, who I recently met, and he's doing great work. And he's got a proposal to fund specific projects with fractals. During this last week meeting, we also discussed raising seed funding for fractals and potentially applying for funding with the ENF grant framework, which was announced last week. I definitely recommend checking out the show from last week, The Hot Sauce, where we featured this, and the article to learn more about that. And we also discussed potentially creating an EOS fractal with this group to help empower and foster public goods on EOS and empower the EOS community fractally. So it's really great. You can listen to the recordings of all the Fractally and EOS brainstorming sessions on the Nova Crypto YouTube channel. There's a bunch of them. There's like 4 of them so far, and they get quite into detail. So definitely check those out if you're interested in helping EOS and just learning more. Once again, these Fractally brainstorming sessions recur every Monday on an alternate schedule at 19 UTC and 14 UTC. Next one's coming up on April 18th, 19 UTC. So hope to see everybody there. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the proposals and the next plans. Oh, and one more thing that I forgot to mention too. During the last one, we also spoke about potentially bootstrapping Fractally with Pomelo. So that could be a very interesting way to use the amazing mechanism that we have on Pomelo for allocating funding in a credibly neutral way for the community with Pomelo for Fractally. So that's something maybe to look out for in the future that we're going to talk more about, I think, in the future. And also more about talks and empowering the EOS community with all sorts of exciting news. So 12 EOS community members met for the 9th Mandel upgrade meeting to share the latest news and updates regarding the upcoming EOS Mandel consensus upgrade. So as we know, there was previously other developers for the EOS IRA software, but now the EOS community is developing the Mandel core software independently with the leaders on these meetings. And during this short video summarizing, the participants shared updates about upgrading some API nodes on the Jungle testnet to the Mandel release candidate and the transaction lifestyle features that we talked about with OCI, and also Mandel development plans with senior level EOSI engineers who are recently hired by the ENF. As always, you can read the summary notes of this meeting on GitHub and also find recordings of all the recordings and summary notes of all the Mandel upgrade meetings in the Mandel GitHub repository. And finally, something that I'm very excited and is very dear to my heart and many people's in the EOS community and excited to grow. The second official Eden election occurred this Saturday, and we are now entering the new era of Eden and fractal governance in the world. So amazing, right? I love it. I love it so much. People were super excited during this talk. And there's a almost 6-hour live stream where many EOS community members expressed great enthusiasm and shared many exciting times. There were some very thrilling moments during the election, and it was really exciting to listen to it. It was really fun, really exciting, and really helpful. I participated in the election and I was elected as a delegate, which I'm very thankful and honored about. There was about 100 Eden members who met on live calls to choose leaders and allocate funding for the benefit of EOS. And there were about 25 groups and 24 delegates total who were elected. So the 5 new elected chief delegates are Brock Pierce, Chuck McDonald, Edgar Fernandez, Gracie Lau, and Michael Sullivan. And Edgar Fernandez was elected as the head chief via sortition. And so he might receive the highest amount of funding, although the funding could change depending on the future bylaws. There's almost 200,000 EOS in the Eden Treasury that will be programmatically dispersed to Eden delegates throughout the month. And you can listen to each of the chief delegates talk about just how grateful they are and how excited they are to help and their plans to empower the Eden community in the moments after the Eden election stream. So this is a really great stream to check out. You can check out like the beginning where we're getting set up, and then you can check out all the different parts where just people are like kind of commentating and sharing all like the fun aspects of Eden and like giving the play-by-play analysis, which is really fun. And then also somewhere around like 2 or 3 hours, I'll share some links. There's introductions from each of the delegates where they basically, give their first thanks and pitch and speech and stuff like that. So yeah, the first speech was from Brock Pierce. He shared very deep conviction for EOS and plans for bringing awareness and media attention to Eden, and also a council he's forming to help allocate Eden. Brock Pierce wasn't intending to run until the last minute, but he was super inspired and has super great conviction to help EOS. So it's really great to see Brock Pierce as a chief delegate. He also put this great picture and shared a great tweet thanking the community. Chuck McDonald, he shared a detailed 3-part platform during the talk to empower communities with an easy-to-use Eden application or an Eden dApp that makes it so any community can easily set it up. We talked about that in the last episode, and also intrinsically valuable NFTs for Eden members and community-owned funding pools to help delegates allocate funding for the benefit of EOS. And he also shared many more details during a interview recently with Patrick from Nova Crypto. Michael O'Sullivan, the CEO of Bywire News, spoke about telling the story of EOS and remunerating content creators who create great content for EOS. I helped elect Michael. I wasn't around with him, and I'm so thrilled to see I'm so thrilled to see that he's a chief delegate and all the amazing work that he does with Bywire and Eden. I'm super, super looking forward to it, very much looking forward to it for better grammar. And as I am for everybody, all these delegates are really amazing. And I'm very happy with the delegates that the Eden election has chosen and the Eden participants. That's Bywire News. Gracie Lau is, she's also a chief delegate of Eden China, actually, and she's a co-founder at JBB1 and a bunch of other projects building with EOS. She spoke about improving the governance of EOS with community-driven experimentation and sharing the learnings across Edens and various cultures. Eden China operates a little bit differently. This was featured in a recent blog post from the ENF, so you can learn more about how the Eden China election works out. So yeah, it's great to see Gracie representing both Eden and China. She's doing wonderful work. And Edgar Fernandez, who's the co-founder of EOS Costa Rica, he spoke about integrating more tools for Eden and providing technical expertise to help the community execute great ideas, and also expanding Eden to many blockchains. During the call, there was also so many other great, this is EOS Costa Rica, who are doing excellent work. During the call, there's also so many great passionate, inspired, insightful speeches throughout nearly 6 hours. And it's really exciting to listen to. There was also a great speech from Eve where he emphasized the need for Eden delegates to iterate quickly with bold action. So it's very exciting to see this new era, what will come of Eden as we move on and grow. It's gonna be beautiful. There's also voting statistics and video recordings that you can see from each room over here on the official Eden website. And the next official Eden election is scheduled. It's also empowered, I suppose, but mostly scheduled for October 8th. And the community is excited to grow EOS with fractal governance. If you're not an Eden member yet, you can reach out. You can reach out to me or reach out to a friendly EOS support agent to learn more. Yeah, and overall, this election was amazing. I'm super thrilled about the new chief delegates and the future of Eden, this new era. Congratulations to everybody, and thank you to everybody, to all the Eden members who participated in this event and Eden so far, making it so special. And also thank you to everybody who's watching the Hot Sauce right now. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the comments. I hope to see you there next time, Oscar, and I hope to see everybody there. I agree, they're really great CDs, chief delegates, and they're doing amazing. So yeah, thanks everybody for watching this Hot Sauce this week. It's been really fun, and there's been so much exciting news that I'm thrilled to share with you. I love to see everybody in the EOS community in the chat and all of our progress with Eden and the EOS EVM and Pomelo and all the great things that ENF is doing and Fractally team is doing and the EOS community is doing. Super helpful for EOS in the world. I'm very excited to be on this journey with you, thrilled to be on this journey with you, and I'm looking forward to sharing lots and lots of exciting news with you on the Hot Sauce next week and in future weeks. So until then, remember to keep it spicy, everybody. Like, subscribe, and share to help grow EOS. Go EOS. Go EOS. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day and see you next week. Over and out.